Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking more about some new gameplay that we have gotten for Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne Remaster. So this was during a little live stream that they did recently back here in the past couple of days. This shows off a completely full boss fight battle that they did during this live stream, showing off some of the different mechanics for the game, some different visuals and whatnot. So this might look a little bit bad just from having it stripped from a live stream that was, I think, streaming in 720p. It wasn't streaming in 1080p, which was kind of like weird. I don't know why they weren't. So this is downgraded a little bit more, even past 720p. So this doesn't quite do its justice, but we're going to be talking more about game mechanics, not so much looks anyway, but they show off some of the better things about the game's mechanics. And I'm going to have this whole live stream video linked down below for you guys to watch it. Unfortunately, it's not on their official website or anything like that, so I'm actually going to be linking you to someone else's channel showing you that. So that's just kind of how it's going to end up having to be for that. So you can watch the whole live stream linked down below. If you want to get more involved and understand more what's going on, I'm going to have their audio off, but have this in the background. We're going to be talking about some more topics around this game. It's been a little bit since I have fully discussed this. I did a bunch of videos on this and followed up and kept up with this, but there just didn't seem to really be a whole lot to talk about. We had talked about game mechanics, we had talked about a bunch of different stuff. It didn't really seem like there was a whole lot to really talk about. Well, they had talked recently to the series game director that are talking about a difference within this game, adding a brand new lower difficulty mode. Yes, you can lower the difficulty even more, which is kind of insulting in some ways. I mean, back then, JRPGs, like, yeah, you had to really do a lot of trial and error just to get by, and really had to work pretty hard to get through certain stages or play certain bits of their games. But it's kind of interesting how they completely just add on a new difficulty mode, which is nice because I think more and more casual people are getting into the series and they actually are experiencing this game more with the casual crowd, and just the casual, just, you know, sort of people in general are getting a hold of this series, especially with the hype of Persona 5. I think we've seen a lot of people who I don't even think really play JRPGs jump onto this game and jump onto that series in general. I know SMT and Persona are a little bit different, but it runs on the same game mechanics and runs on a similar sort of system. I mean, it's literally from the same series, so it sort of makes sense why they might be trying to bat more of an eye towards that more casual audience. And with it releasing on Steam, they have been branching out to bigger audiences and more casual fans and just different player types in general. So it more just makes sense why they would try to put in this lower difficulty mode, or I'm going to call it casual player mode, really is what I'm going to end up calling it. And you know what? I think this is a good thing overall. I don't think it takes too much time for them to develop something like this. It probably doesn't matter a whole lot. I know that people are going to get made fun of for this, but being a person who went back and had played Persona 4 and played Persona 5, and I've played some of the older SMT games, when you play Persona 5 and you compare it to some of these older JRPGs, the quality of life that you get in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal is so good. I mean, you hardly have to focus, you hardly have to try when you're playing those. The quality of life is so easy, just the little adjustments towards things, saving points and stuff like that. It's so easy. You don't have to really worry a ton about having to run back or redo things or see the exact same things multiple times. We're getting an XP screen there, which is pretty cool and interesting. But like I said, appeasing to more casual fans might be better for them to do in general. I hope that ain't TOS. Oh my god. You know, leave it to SMT Persona to be showing crazy stuff like this. But appeasing to the casual fans, it does make sense, I think, overall. Same thing with like Persona 4, Persona 5. Just going back and seeing those older games, you can see the quality of life and how easy it is to do certain things is so much better in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal. When you play Persona 4 for the first time, I played it, you have to go through I think 4 whole dungeon stages. And this is your first palace. You have to go through 4 whole dungeon stages and then you get a save point. which to me, I kept like going and going and going. I'm like, is this gonna end? Like, do I even get a save point? I remember having to look it up. I'm like, oh, you get one, but it's 4 stages up. Where something like Persona 5, you get a save point where it seems to be like every single stage. And a lot of times you get like 2 of them. Sometimes even certain bigger places you get like a couple. So it makes sense why they have this lower sort of setting. And I wish I could dish out more of what's going on here and talk about more of what's happening. Unfortunately, it is in Japanese. All the autos also in Japanese, so it's really hard to understand. But you can see the MP, the HP, and stuff like that on the sides. This whole thing in general looks pretty good. If I remember right from the gameplay I've seen from just the regular SMT3, this isn't a whole lot different. They did fix a couple different things with characters and animations, and I think voice work and audio cues have been changed as well as music. I think they've done a good job on changing up the tracks for this game as well. I mean, ATLUS has amazing music, and oftentimes there's not a whole lot they need to even fix in general, but it sounds like they did a good job at trying to make sure that this game is a cohesive game, not only to the people who used to play this game originally, but they're trying to also appeal to that casual fan base as well, maybe with that lower difficulty mode, to make sure that they aren't scared off. I'm a person where I would probably play this no matter what, casual mode or not, or the lower difficulty mode or not, so it doesn't really matter a whole lot to me, but it is nice for them to be able to do something like this. And the monsters in this look really good as well in the remaster. I mean, just in general, remasters typically make the game look a lot better. And here's another animation for the enemy turn doing stuff, which is so cool. I love seeing this stuff and seeing the monsters battle each other, just looking a lot better. It's sort of strange to see this, but yeah, you can see the whole gang here all lined up. The HP bar, the MP bar, everything sort of lined up here is really nice to see. And there is a boss battle within this. Is I think the first footage we get of a full length boss battle. I do believe we've had like 30 minutes just normal gameplay, but I don't think we've had a full-on boss battle, a boss fight before for this game, which really helps sort of show more about it. And they've been keeping these live streams up pretty good, but I think a lot of this does have to do with Sega pushing this game and pushing their other games and pushing all of these other ATLUS games in general to other platforms and to other players, which sort of brings us onto the topic of, you know, why they're remastering these games, why they're pushing them out. And I do think it's the whole fan base thing, and I think Sega also seeing that is wanting to help market this game better with pushing for more marketing with live streams like this. It seems like a lot of these older, you know, Japanese studios are sort of out of the swing of things when it comes to marketing and getting in touch with the community. So many people want certain things and are asking for certain things, and they don't always end up seeming to be that hard or that complex. But porting a lot of these older games to newer platforms can be, you know, pretty difficult to do, with, you know, just having to put games in newer engines and whatnot. It can be kind of difficult. But I think with that whole commentary here, guys, I think I'm gonna leave this here. Take with it what you will. With the lower difficulty mode, it could, you know, mean a lot of different things. I understand it. I think them looking at their older games is why they have done this, and seeing the quality of life improvements with games like Persona 5 and the later SMT games, it's no surprise why they would put in this lower difficulty mode. I think it makes sense anyway, but yeah, I think they're trying to appease to the casual audience as well, as alongside with the, you know, hardcore audience, which is why I think they allowed the whole, you know, Dante thing to be a thing, because they know that they want to allow that older audience to experience the whole game as a whole, the definitive version of the game, which is why the first time I think, you know, Americans are going to be able to, or just people in the West are going to be able to actually play the definitive version of this game, opposed to like what we'd have, you know, before. And here's a whole screen here with certain upgrades, which is pretty interesting as well. Can't wait to see what this thing looks like in full English. I don't think we'll be having any trailers like that for, you know, anytime soon. This thing does release in October for Japan, so this isn't too far off. We're not going to be getting this game until 2021 for, you know, the Western release till the English versions all come out. But I think it's going to wrap up this video, guys. I will leave that link down below, or comment down below if you want to have the link to this. If not, it's something you probably could easily type up. Let me know down below if that's something you would like to see. I'm going to have some more videos coming out, more Persona news, more Shin Megami Tensei news just in general. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. I appreciate all the support you guys have done so far. We're almost at 1,200 subscribers. We're just like a couple away. So thank you for those of you who have stuck by and stuck with the channel. Like this video if you guys enjoy this type of content. As always, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.